Alright, so I am officially just Nicole, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Some things that you can expect here is faith, a lot of faith, fashion, food, family, and fun. So right now I am on a series about like just dating in my 30s as a Christian woman, how that journey is, or how I am going about that journey now, and just kind of like my walk with God on this journey, guidelines that He has given me concerning it. And this week, I want to talk about the list. So, yes, I do have a list of things that I'm looking for in a husband, things that I am praying for in a husband. And I just wanted to kind of share that journey with you guys and like what a list means. We're going to talk about like what is a list? Like, is it important, and then do you need a list? Like anytime you hear a list when it comes to dating, it's like almost never talked about in a positive way, because some people do make unrealistic lists, but this list it is very intentional. So if you are on a dating journey and you are dating intentionally and you do want that forever person, I think it is important to know like what you want in your spouse. Like, what do you want in the person that you will be spending the rest of your life with? Like, what are some key core values that you absolutely want your person to exude or have? So having a list is very important, and you must know what you want in a husband. So I do have a list. It is to a double-sided. I've had this list for like 3 years, but I know what I want in a man. So I have definitely had some time to, create a list and figure out, exactly what I want in a man. Like I said, I've definitely seen things that I absolutely cannot tolerate in a man. And I also am very realistic, but I do encourage like every believer, definitely, because this is for believers, but definitely have a list of what you're looking for. So not anything can just show up. You got to have a sense of the kind of person that God has for you. So create your list, figure out what it is that you want in a person. And then from there, on your list, see like how you show up to meet those. Like, do you mirror anything that's on that list? If you're asking for a person who, works out 7 days a week, like, do you work out at all? So you definitely want to mirror what's on your list and be realistic. You definitely want to, mirror what's on your list. You definitely want to be that person that you're asking for. So if you're not there, find out ways that you can become that person. Like, how can you show up to be the person that you're asking for, The next thing I want to talk about is like why a list. So knowing what you want is just really important. That way you don't have to settle. And as I said earlier, nothing can just show up. Like, that you're looking for a specific kind of person, and you want to draw that kind of person to you, and you want to be happy with what you're asking for, and knowing what you don't want is just as important. So what are your non-negotiables? Like, meaning, I can absolutely not deal with a man if he is like this, if he does this, if he is this way. Like, what are your non-negotiables that you are not willing to negotiate at all on a relationship? So that is very important. Your non-negotiables, the key to having non-negotiables is not to negotiate them. So a non-negotiable for me, like, he has to be a follower of Jesus Christ, like not the universe. He can't be Muslim for me personally. He can't be anything outside of like Jesus Christ. Like, the man that God has for me, I want to be equally yoked with, and I'm not willing to compromise or negotiate on that at all. Not at this stage in my life, not at this stage in my walk with Christ. So that is an absolute non-negotiable for me. Domestic violence is a non-negotiable for me. A history of domestic violence, for sure, and lengthy history of domestic violence. Because some people, people aren't perfect, but for me personally, like, that's a non-negotiable for me, amongst other things. But those are like the main two. After like your non-negotiables, like that you are sure, you are flat on, and like there's no changing or arranging on, you want to definitely submit your list to Christ. So you want to allow God to refine your list. Like, maybe some things you're asking on your list is not things that you actually need. And to do that, you want to create a space or an atmosphere for God to speak. So whether it's worship, you taking some time out, turning on some gospel music, and just allowing God to speak. Like, God, I want to hear you. If you want to speak through the music, if you want to open up my mind, however you want to do it, I want to create this moment for you. So worship is one. The next word I have written down is reverence. So reverence is respect and honor to God. So, and how you come to him. So an example of reverence is going to be like kneeling in prayer, like not praying while you're laying in the bed, like literally getting out of the bed, or if you have a prayers closet, but getting into a space where, like, God, I want to hear from you, so I'm submitting my whole atmosphere to you. I am changing my posture, and I am coming to you as the Lord of my life, as the King, and you come humbly to God. So that's just a reverence for him. And then the last thing I have concerning that is expectation. So God is in an answering season, and he's just making that very clear. Like, expect it so much that when it shows up, honestly, you're going to be a little bit scared. Like, that's how fast and accurate God is in this season. He's going to answer your prayers. Being intentional about inviting God into this journey, because this is a journey that he has called us to, but definitely inviting him into the details. It really opens up the fact that God, again, knows what we need, not what we want. Not just for you, because God has revealed to me that there is like the perfect mate for you, like the perfect person for you. And then there's the perfect person for your dynamic. So your family, if you have children already, if they have children already, like there's a person for you, and then there's a person that can meet you and the dynamic that you have in your home or in your family. So for me, I want the wholeness of it. I want a husband for me, and I also want a husband for the family that I already have and the family that God has also called me to. Like, how many times have you seen like people get into relationships and the kids like hate the stepmom, or they hate the husband or something like that? Like, God is saying like that happens a lot, but he's saying that it doesn't have to happen, and not saying if you have a situation like that it is wrong, because marriage definitely has its own amount of warfare. But what God is saying, like, I can be intentional about placing somebody that fits what you have if you let me. Like, if you allow me to show you the person that will be perfect for your situation, there's a person out there for that. If you look for a person who's just going to love you and not love your kids, or which I know you're not, but I'm saying there's a person for that as well. But we want the entirety of it. And we want the man that God is calling us to, and for the life that God is calling. And as you engage with God, he is going to give you details about your person. And this is where we have to trust the details that God gives us. So it's really important to write down what God says as you begin your journey. And you have to be very, in this season, God is going to be very specific. And we don't want to be deceived, because we do have an enemy that we do fight every single day. So if God is trying to give you something, what does the devil do? He's here to kill, steal, and destroy, right? So if God is telling you, let's say your husband is 6 feet and he's brown skinned, and you meet a person who is brown skinned but he's 5'11", God said, I said he's 6 feet. So you definitely want to be specific about the details and not bend on that, because we don't want to be deceived. And there will be other things that God will give you, but that is just like a small example, like, of how serious this season is as far as listening. Even if you have to like submit it back to Christ, like, Lord, this is what I have written down. This is what showed up. Like, I just want to come back to you again. Like, God is not intimidated or upset with you with confirming with him. Like, again, that lets you know that you want what he's giving you. So he definitely wants you to be, intentional with him about it. So if you have some questions and you're confused, and just ask God again, like, Lord, can you remind me? Holy Spirit, can you remind me of what you said? And then it just gives you that strength to continue to move forward. And then another thing that you want to pray is, or that I want to pray for sure, is that, Lord, this same work that you are doing in me, and I want you to do that same work in my husband. Like, I don't want to show up to the party uninvited. Like, I want him to know or have a sense of who I am when I come in contact. The last thing I'm going to talk about before I actually get into my list is God said to allow the person that you begin to date, because you will meet someone, give them 10 days to show their progress. Give them 10 days to show like their intentions. Give them 10 days to, you know, if they are pursuing you, like how are they showing up? He said give it 10 days and 10 days only. He said no date 11. Like if he ain't showing up, or if she ain't, you know, if the vibe is not giving, there's no connection, there's no chemistry, because chemistry is so important. Do not waste any more time. So like I said before, God told you your husband was 6 foot, and then somebody showed up who was 5'11". God means 6 feet, but which means he also means 10 days, not day 11. So do not be deceived on day 11. Move on, and it's okay to move on and be happy on. Don't waste no time and be happy. All right. Now let's get into my list. So I'm gonna just go over some things, and I'm gonna explain a little bit about what I'm looking for in a man. So again, first things first, he has to be a man of Christ. And not just a man of Christ, he has to be obedient to the voice of Christ. I also pray for a man who is a leader, because I believe that if you live by God's word, he will not lead you in the wrong direction. So I need you to be hearing God. I need you to be led by God so you can lead me and our family. I want a man who is handsome to me. He ain't got to be drop dead gorgeous to y'all, but as long as he is fine to me, then that's all that matters. A clean man, you got to have good hygiene. Yeah, you got to have good hygiene. A man who is responsible, so who doesn't just live life aimlessly. I pray that my husband has a clean heart. So I really would like a man who has been refined by God, because I would like him to have a clean heart, you know, like not do anything like with ill intention. A man who is whole, meaning he is not broken. He has really taken some time to get himself together, whether it's therapy, whether it's through, you know, allowing Christ to redefine him and refine him and put him back together. I want a whole man. I want reciprocity. So reciprocity is very important to me. Like what I'm giving you, please give it back. A man who is generous. A man who is financially responsible. A man who is financially literate. A man of good wealth. A provider, a protector, a man who values our home and family, who is brave. I really want a man who is masculine. I like masculine energy. I need masculine energy. A man who is loving and lovable. I'm gonna skip that one. But a man who is heterosexual. Like I definitely prefer my man heterosexual. Especially in these times, I just prefer a heterosexual man. I really, really do. A man that is fun, a man that has self-control, a man that has good communication skills, but a man who also follows up with his actions. So I want a man of his word, a man who is confident, a man who is charismatic, who knows who he is. I definitely want a man who is faithful, who is sober. I'll go ahead and skip that one as well. A man who is solution-based. A man who has control of his anger. We all get mad, but I need you to be able to control and regulate that temperature. A man who is healthy. I also want someone who is funny. Like, I love to laugh. Like, that is, like, the key to my heart. I love laughter so, so much. You know, a man who is fly, because I likes to get dressed. I love a man who can dress and smell good. A man who is authentic, a man who is favored by God, like a man who God is absolutely with, like a man who is like authentic, smart, I love wit, oh my goodness, supportive, somebody I can prosper along with my children, somebody who's willing to do the work, like who's willing to do what it takes, who cares and contributes to the well-being of me and our family, and us to him as well. Somebody who's consistent, somebody who prioritizes God, someone who has the ability to produce more children and wants more children. And this one I was gonna kind of keep to myself, but I have to say it because it is important and it shows up a lot. So someone, I'll say it like this, someone where we can handle each other's success, like where we're not in competition with each other, like we actually like iron sharpens iron. Like I think that is a very important dynamic in a relationship, just being able to handle each other's success, because we going up, definitely, for sure. And I don't want that to ever like outshine, you know, my relationship. Like I want us to be able to grow together, like no matter how big he gets, matter how far I get in life, because you know, God is definitely letting me know where I'm headed. So I know like my husband is definitely either there or on the way. So a man who actually desires marriage. So like a man who absolutely wants to be a husband, who actually wants to be a husband. A man who is romantic, who will love and honor me and our children. And a man who is single. Like, I pray that my husband is single right now. Like, I pray that he does not have a girlfriend. I pray that he is not in a marriage. I pray that he is single and ready to date intentionally. Like, because we need space and opportunity to grow and get to know each other. And it's really hard to do that if you have like other things going on, guys. You just can't meet new people when you have all this other stuff going on. So I pray that my husband is single. And then lastly, I just pray that he's nice. Like, just like, I don't want like a mean person, a person who is just always just evil. Like, I want a nice guy, like a cool, laid back, more upbeat person. It's the one I skipped over, but I'll just throw it in there just in case it's not something that you considered. I want to be sexually compatible with my husband. Like, I want a man who is has a healthy sexual appetite, and somebody who I am sexually compatible with. Okay, and somebody who's sexually compatible with me. Okay, because that is important, especially if we're gonna be together forever. So yes, so that was my list. That is some of the things I'm praying for in a man. Again, God can refine my list any day. This is something that I have already submitted to him on several occasions. So we'll go ahead and, you know, resubmit it, see where God is at now, you know, and, you know, what he really wants from me in my relationship. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. So just make your list, see how you mirror that list. If you don't mirror some things on a list, look at how you can be better. Submit your list to God. You know, write down what God tells you. You know, pray. And enjoy the journey, honey. God is in the details. He's doing this thing within 10 days, guys. And enjoy the journey, okay? If it's happening in 10 days, trust it and move forward. That might be the message more than stopping. Trust it and move forward. I feel something on that, y'all. And that's got to be for me because that's something I'm working on. Trust it and move forward. Don't be afraid. Know that God is with you. Know that God has you. Whew. If you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I am looking forward to see like what God is doing. Like, I'm very excited, but I am very like, I don't know. This just feel different, y'all. Like I said, I've been on this journey for a long time, you know. And me and God has had some close encounters. But this time it really feels different. Like, it really feels different. Bless me. But it really feels different. It feels like this may be the way. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next time.